does it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says. I am your host, and welcome to episode 139, my folks, the Christmas edition. And well, it was a raucous night, an unholy night, where nothing was calm. No, nothing was right. The Rams had shown up to the Hawks' nest in Seattle with full intentions to succeed in their battle. But unfortunately, the Rams laid an egg, and now they're hobbling on one leg. But do not worry. Do not stress, because I still believe the Rams are the best in the West. Merry Christmas to all. And this is the Christmas edition. But normally this would be an abbreviated episode, so you could enjoy the yum-yums for your tum-tum and open your presents around the tree and all that business and not worry so much about the NFL. But hey, NFL's playing football on Christmas these days. They got 3 big games trying to rival the NBA, and well, this game this past Thursday against Seattle, oh, it was an epic game, and so it does require an epic episode. And so, in the interest of getting right to the point, let's do business now. Let's not waste any time, because the first takeaway that I want to share from my perspective is that Coach McGenius came so close to calling the perfect game and having the perfect game plan up in Seattle on the road. But then, regrettably, my folks, then in that fourth quarter, well, with the aid of the zebras, the referees, and miscues and mishaps and funny bounces and punt returns and missed kicks, with all of that going on, McGenius found himself on the wrong end of the lead, and he does what McWonder does. He glitched. He flinched. He blinked. He panicked. He was unable to stay the course with the ground game, and, well, it all unraveled. My folks, it all unraveled. All that excellent work that he had done and that the Rams had done. Well, as you know, it all fell apart in the end, and so now the Rams find themselves in the precarious position of not being able to control their own destiny. And, well, they have to keep winning with 2 games left. 2 games left. The Rams now at 11-4, tied, record-wise anyway, with them damn Niners and Father Sorcerer. And well, by virtue of this egg laid in the Hawks' nest in Seattle, now the Hawks are the 1 seed at 12-3. And it's an interesting situation when you really look at it. I mean, when you compare the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams statistical categories, it's eye-popping, it's mind-boggling how close, how so very close these teams are. 1-2, 2-1, all the way down. All these statistical categories, points per game and defensive scoring, and all these categories, 1-2 and 2-1. There's a 3 here or there, but they're extremely close. And on that very same note, when you look at the 2 games the Rams have played with Seattle, Oh, so close. Just a yard or two difference in total yards and points. Just a point or two difference. I mean, extremely close. Except for one thing, which is, well, it's troubling. The Rams are not turning the ball over against the Seahawks, but the Hawks are turning it over with rapidity. The Rams have a far better touchdown to turnover ratio than the Seahawks do in the games they've played against each other. And yet, despite that, they're 1-1. And it is troubling because we saw one game where they intercepted Sam Darnold. Poltergeist strikes 4 times. There were still a couple more this game. We've seen the Rams sack him, and he grazed on Seattle grass multiple times this game as well. We've seen him make bad mistakes, bad decisions. He said himself, and you can see it in his play, he's still seeing ghosts out there. Kobe Turner, the conductor, dropping into coverage. Ghosts. Poltergeist strike. Once you start seeing ghosts, my folks, hey, the apparitions, they are going to wreak havoc on you. We keep seeing it. The turnovers. Soup had a fumble. The Rams, no turnovers this game. Seattle, 2 poltergeist strikes. And Soup coughed up a fumble and multiple sacks. 4 more sacks grazing on Seattle grass. And yet, despite the fumble, despite the poltergeist strikes, despite the sacks, the game goes to overtime. And there were a lot of events that conspired against the Rams, and we'll look at it in the game analysis. But in the end, it was too much to overcome when you put it all together. And, had one thing been different, had McWonder stuck to his initial game plan and just kept running the ball, that might have weathered the storm. We'll never know because it didn't happen. He blinked, he winked, he wigged. How many times have I come here to the outskirts of the city to decry the 3 and outs? Incomplete. No time elapsing off the clock in the 4th quarter. We saw it again. We saw it again in Seattle. Too damn close to the rocks, Captain. And there you have it. And so, in the interest of getting to the point of it, let's go ahead right now. Let's go ahead and get to game analysis. Game analysis. And the thing, my folks, is that I was so impressed with the way Coach McGenius started the game. The first half, I couldn't really have drawn it up any better if I had diagrammed it myself. Let's take a look at it now. The first drive, the first Rams possession of the game, for example, it illustrates exactly what I mean when I say Coach McGenius had the right strategy going in. Maybe he has listened to a broadcast of Scotty Says. I don't know, but he was on the right path until he deviated in the second half. Let's look at it. The first drive of the game, brilliant. 7 of 8, I believe, of the first plays were on the ground, and the final play of the drive was a 4th and 1, and it was a run play, and I agreed with it. The only issue with that play, the 4th and 1 call, was that it was a stretch run. The defense, they strung the play out and stuffed it. You know, I'm like, run up the gut, McWonder, up the gut. But, hey, he has been taking some of my advice as the season has progressed. I encouraged him to play with 4 downs far more often, and he has been doing that. In fact, he went for 4th down, as you probably know, 3 times in the first quarter in that Seattle game. And, well, okay, he didn't convert this initial one. Fair enough. I would have preferred to see a north and south run play instead of east and west. So be it. Seattle gets the ball. Now, Sam Darnold throws a little swing pass to the running back, and he breaks off a huge run. And, well, their running backs had a great game against the Rams. Charbonnet and maybe especially Kenneth Walker III. I mean, they had magnificent games. And so Seattle goes up early, 7-0. The Rams get the ball back, and they're driving. They're mixing, running past, Puka showing hand strength and converting on a big 4th down play. And the Rams keep the ball moving, but eventually, well, they get to the low red zone. They get to a 4th and goal at the 1. In the previous play, Dotson has just gone out with the ankle, a sprained ankle, and Dittich comes in, and well, this portended issues. Dotson is a reliable offensive line starter, and now with him out, the next play, McWonder going for it again on 4th down, hits Ferguson. Fergie, touchdown in the end zone, but the refs, the Zebras, this is where it starts, my folks. They call a phantom penalty on Dittich. They call illegal man downfield. Huh? Illegal man downfield. Okay, remember now, it was 4th and goal at the 1. How far downfield could an illegal man be? A lineman. It was an awful, an atrocious, a horrific call. In fact, the official on the television broadcast, even he came out and said there was no foul on this play. It was a bad call. It took a touchdown off the board for the Rams. The Zebras exerting influence undue over the game. And so the Rams have to settle for 3. So now it's 7-3 Seattle. And the LA defense bows up, forces a 3 and out. The Rams get the ball back. And from their own 12-yard line, Matty under center, over the middle, a dart, a dime, a seed, strike to Puka. A big 54-yard completion, and the Rams are driving, and then he goes. McWonder does right back to the ground. And I'm thinking at that point in time, McGenius is calling a hell of a game. Keep it up, coach. And so the Rams are driving, and they get to the red zone, and they end up facing a 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 from the 10, trailing 7-3. And, well, it's an incomplete pass. 4th and 2 from the 10 now. And we've seen now the coach has already shown he is willing to take my earlier advice and play with 4 downs. And so he's gone for it multiple times now on 4th down. Here we are, 4th and 2 at the 10. LA trailing. Perfect time, right? Perfect time to go for it here again. And he lines up to go for it. The coach does. And then was quite curious. And then he lets the play clock expire. They don't snap it as though they were trying to draw Seattle offsides, or they got confused. They lost track of the play clock. I don't know what that was. But whatever it was, it ends up, instead of going for the 4th and 2 at the 10, they take a delay of game penalty and back up 4th and 7 from the 15. And so if it was a decision by the coach to try to draw them off sides there, that was weak sauce, sir. Or if it was Matty lost track of the play clock, weak sauce. If it was McGenius, usually he'll burn a timeout in order to avoid the delay of game. I don't know what happened, but the operation failed in that scenario. And so now the Rams end up settling for 3. Mevis, still perfect so far as the Rams place kicker, puts it through. 7-6, Seattle. Okay. 7-6, Seattle. The LA defense forces another 3 and out, and the Rams get the ball back yet again. Okay. The Rams drive yet again. And this time is Deuces in the backfield, and Deuces gets some run. In fact, there was a sequence here, 3 consecutive runs to Blake Corum. And I'm like, yes, McGenius. This is what I'm talking about. You will win this game if you keep this strategy up. That's what I'm yelling at the TV now. And this run game attack, this is the thing I've been preaching about. You know it, my folks. And it's unfolding to perfection. In fact, let me look at the numbers real quick. At this point, there have been 42 offensive plays in the game to this point. LA has 31 of them. 31-11. That's ball control. That's ball control. That's fundamental principles of power football. Running the ball, possessing the ball, running the clock, keeping the opposing offense on the bench, wearing down the opposing defense. All these magnificent benefits when you play as a ball control offense. 42 offensive plays combined. LA 31, Seattle only 11. Time of possession, another massive factor in winning ball games, big ball games on the road. And well, look at the Rams. Time of possession, 15 minutes, 21 seconds for LA. Seattle, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. So you see the disparity. And so you see it all across the stat sheet. Yards, the Rams have over 200 yards, 206 yards at this point in the game. Seattle, only 76. These are the things I've been preaching about, my folks. And it's unfolding to perfection in Seattle. And all I'm thinking is just keep it up. Ball control, clock control equals game control. Fundamental power football principles. I love it. And this is what we're seeing early in the game. And so this drive now, it's 10 plays, 7 of which are runs. 7 runs, 3 passes. Second and goal at the 3. Second and goal at the 3. Second and goal at the 3. The Rams moving the ball with impunity on the ground. And I gotta point this out right here. The Rams have run 38 offensive plays so far. 38 offensive plays. 22 have been runs. Oh, BALANCE. I love it, McG. This is what I'm talking about. Just keep this up. You will win the game. And so, well, now this play, Matty under center. Play action, and they're biting. The Hawks, they're hungry. The Hawks are starving. And so they bite on the play fake. Matty throwing for Fergie. Touchdown, Rams. Fergie gets his touchdown back even after the refs took one away from him. Touchdown, LA. And so now the Rams take the lead. 13-7. 13-7, LA. 13-7 LA, and now that Rams defense can eat, pin their ears back, and Sam Aine is grazing on Seattle grass, and then Soup over the middle with time ticking out of the first half, coughs it up, bumble, ball out, and so at halftime, the Rams lead 13-7. And so now, my folks, we move to the second half, and this is important to underscore. Remember how Shane Steichen ran McWonder down a couple of years ago in the second half? Remember how against Carolina, the Panthers, Canales ran McWonder down coming out of halftime in the second half? Father, we've seen him do it. We've seen the Eagles do it. That's the book of McWonder at work. They know. Run him down in the second half. Let's look at it. Seattle gets the ball to start the second half. They're trailing. They're down, right? 13-7. And they don't panic. They don't glitch or blink or wig. They stay focused. McDonald, the coach of the Seahawks, they stay disciplined. They stay on the ground despite trailing out of halftime. And so let's look at that first third quarter sequence. Seattle's got the ball. They run the ball on first down. And then it's a short gain. They do a little quick dump pass over the middle to one of the backs. It's 3rd and inches. They run the ball again. First down. Okay? That's 3 plays out of halftime. 2 runs, 1 pass. First down now. From around their 45 or so. They run again. They run again. It's a run play to the back, Kenneth Walker III. And he jump cuts, finds the seam, hits it, and he goes the distance to the hizzy, untouched essentially. Touchdown, Seattle. Big 55-yard touchdown run. Run out of halftime. See, this is what our coach doesn't grasp. This is what our coach doesn't seem to comprehend, that you can win and dominate on the ground. The only caveat is you must stay disciplined. You can't wig and blink and glitch. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay patient. You got the lead. Run the ball. Okay, well now you're trailing. And see, that there it is. It's in the book of McWonder. You know we spent time discussing the book. In the book of McWonder, it stipulates that Coach McWonder will glitch or blink when he's trailing. He'll abandon the run. He'll eschew the ground game when he's trailing. We've seen him do it time and time again. And so, well, here we are now. Rams trailing now in the third quarter. I mean, just look at it, my folks. Seattle runs 4 plays out of halftime. 3 of them are run plays. And then the last one, he busts it. 65 yards, 4 plays. And Seattle takes the lead. And now, here's McWonder. And I'm thinking, follow suit, coach. Less big. Let success be your guide. Well, McWonder comes out. He does run the first play. It's only a yard or 2. Now it's 2nd and 9, and you know what's coming now. He's throwing, and it's incomplete, and it's 3rd and 9, and he's throwing again, and it's a big hit. He hits X, a big hit. Big first down, and now the Rams seem to be driving. Well, here it is. They have to burn the timeout. Play clock issues. There it is again. Exasperation. Okay. You come out of the timeout, and there's a holding penalty. 1st and 20. They're going backwards. Moonwalking. Hee. Come on, man. And then, 1st and 20, just when you think, wow, these guys are self-destructing, McGenius comes out with this very nice little flea flicker play. It's a flea flicker, but it's not to throw the home run ball. It's a flea flicker that's really masquerading as a tight end screen. And so they pick up 16 big yards on that. It's a creative, nifty little play, but it's 2nd and 4 now, and the Rams will go no further. Okay? And so they have to settle for the Mevis field goal. Mevis is still perfect at this point in the game, and so the Rams retake the lead. Now, they retake the lead 16-14, but even there you saw the chaos. There was an offensive false start. There was a botched snap, and the kick, I don't know how he got it off. He got it through, but the penalty wiped it out, and they had to back it up 5 yards, and still he converted it, and he, at this point in time in his Rams career, is 8 for 8. But you see all the glitchiness, the sloppiness in the special teams and in other areas. And part of it I do understand with regard to the offensive line, because you've lost Dotson, and so there's that. But the special teams stuff is inexcusable this far into the season, and as you know, McGenius swung the axe and fired his special teams coach, and you know, I mean, listen, I don't know if that's going to help or not, but it'd probably be hard for it to get much worse. But let's get back to the game analysis. Okay, the Rams are up 16-14. So the Rams lead 16-14, and Seattle now with the ball, and they get their drive on. Sam Hine faces a 3rd and 8, and, well, drops back, seeing ghosts, and it's Josh Wallace. Josh Wallace, he shows man coverage, and then he drops back in the zone, and Sam, I'm seeing ghosts out there. He misreads it and falls right into the trap, and it's a poltergeist strike. Poltergeist strike on Darnold, and Josh Wallace returns it 56 big yards down to the Seattle 1, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, blessings. Holla, hallelujah, somebody. I said, maybe the Rams will be able to survive this after all. And then, of course, next play, touchdown on the ground from the 1, touchdown deuces, and the Rams up now 23-14. Well, a little bit of breathing room, and I'm feeling a little bit better. And so now, Seattle, they get the ball back, trailing, and, well, the Rams defense has bowled up, and they are holding, and they force a Seattle punt. And so the Rams, as the third quarter dwindles to a close, they have the ball and the lead, and the game is in hand. Just finish them, McWonder, just finish them. And so, my folks, as the third quarter is drawing to a close, the Rams are facing a 3rd and 3 from their own 38, and Matty in the gun over the middle. The no-looker, he throws them all the time. Now the no-looker, the Puka takes it all the way down to the Seattle red zone. And so as the fourth quarter gets underway, as the fourth quarter begins, it's 1st and goal, LA, at the Seattle 5-yard line. It was a 61-yard completion, the no-looker from Matty the Puka. And so now, K-Will carries for a couple on 1st and goal. Now it's 2nd and goal, and he runs it again, and I'm thinking running again, and he does. He runs it again, and it's a couple more. Now it's 3rd and goal at the Seattle 1-yard line. 3rd and goal now, and McGee calls for the quick slant. It's the quick slant to Puka, and Matty yet again. No looking. He's no looking like a fool. Quick slant, Puka, touchdown, LA. Touchdown, Rams. No look, touchdown, Matty. And LA now with breathing room. And so now it's 30-14. 30-14 in the fourth quarter, and they're putting up these stats that the Seahawks in their franchise history, when trailing by 15 or more in the fourth quarter, they are 0-172. They just don't come back from that. They shouldn't. But as you know, they would change that goose egg to a 1 and 172 on the heads of the LA Rams. Let's look at it. How did it happen? This is key now, because I felt like McWonder was calling an A game, and now you're up 16 points in the fourth, and all you really got to do is just play smart. Fundamental football, power, control, what you've been doing. Just keep doing that. Seattle. So they get the ball down 16. And, well, they drive. They drive into the low red zone. So now Seattle, they face a third and goal from the LA 6. And Sam, I ain't in empty shotgun. And he feels the pressure. VA vroom, vroom, touches him up, and he lets it go, and the conductor folds him again. I'm seeing ghosts out there. The conductor showed blitz and then dropped back in the zone, and poltergeist strike. Yes! Poltergeist strike at the goal line. The conductor, the Rams, they got him now. Right? Here is where it is, my folks. This is where the hiccup, the glitch, the twitch, the wig out happened. Okay? The Rams are up 30-14. They've got the ball. And so now, what you must do, you must run the ball. You must bleed the clock. And McWonder, initially, on first down, run play, great. Second down, run play, great. And then on third down, he wants to pick up the first down. He doesn't want to go 3 and out. I get it. And so, incomplete, clock stops. Now, here's the thing I need for you to be cognizant of. The Rams are snapping the ball ahead of the play clock expiring. And I'll give you a specific example here, but I'm thinking, why aren't you running the play clock down to 1 before you snap the ball? Okay, all right. It's a 3 and out, 2 runs, 1 incomplete pass, 3 and out. Seattle gets the ball back. The Rams still have control of the game. It's 30-14 now. Time ticking out of regulation. And this is what I'm talking about with the Rams special teams glitches. Ethan Evans, who has been pretty damn good this year, kicks a shallow punt into the middle of the field. And Rashid Shaheed takes the punt, quick jump cut, finds a seam, hits the crease, and he goes essentially untouched all the way. Punt return, touchdown, Seattle back in the game. Oh no, lightning striking. And I remember Baltimore. You remember the Baltimore overtime? It's a 58-yard punt return, and they convert the 2-point try. So now, they've cut the lead in half now. And now the Rams lead 30-22. But McWonder, you still got the game. Just follow a couple basic steps, a simple formula, an easy strategy. Run the ball, eat clock. If you're not picking up first downs, you're chewing up clock and controlling the ball, and snap the ball at around 2 or 1 on the play clock. Eat it. Drain the clock. Okay. Rams get the ball back up 8 now. 30-22. And here, my folks, here is where I must underscore. I must highlight. I must focus your attention on this sequence. The Rams are up 8. 30-22. There's 7 minutes, 58 seconds left in regulation. The Rams have the ball first down at their own 22-yard line. First play. It's a swing pass out to Puka. He gets about 3 yards. 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7. With the game clock ticking. And Matty snaps the ball on 2nd and 7 with 11 seconds still on the play clock. This shows me they don't understand ball control, game control, clock management. It's 2nd and 7 with the clock running. You're up 8. You snap the ball with 11 seconds still on the play clock. You gotta drain the clock, Matty. McWonder. But they don't. They snap it, and then they throw it, and then it's incomplete, and now the clock stops. Do you see? Do you see? So now it's 3rd and 7. Now it's 3rd and 7. The clock has stopped. And of course, McWonder is throwing, and it's incomplete again. And so, you have, right here, with the game in the balance, you have a 3 and out. What's worse? You have 3 consecutive pass plays. What's worse? The one pass play that was completed in bounds, you snapped the ball with 11 seconds still on the play clock. And so the culmination of all of this is at 7:58, you get the ball for your offense. And at 7:18, 40 seconds later, you're punting it to Seattle. 40 game clock seconds have elapsed. Complete, snap ahead of the play clock, incomplete, punt, 40 seconds. Seattle gets the ball right back. And so this sequence, my folks, I am compelled to report. I am required to report. I must report that this sequence right here, this was your McBlunder Spotlight sequence of the week. And a costly one it was. So Seattle gets the ball right back now. 7:18 left in regulation, and they're just down a score and a 2-point conversion. And so that McBlunder Spotlight sequence, that just set it up. That just set up for what was to come, because Seattle gets the ball back, and, well, now trailing just by 1 score and and a 2-point conversion. Seattle gets the ball after another weak punt by Evans. The only thing I can say about it on the positive is that at least this weak punt was kicked out of bounds, so there was no return. But now Seattle with the ball in the round. Rashid Shaheed busts the Rams' ass again. Another big play on the ground, and then right after that, on the heels of that big run play, Darnold goes over the top. Touchdown, Seattle. And now it's 30-28. And all that's left is the 2-point try. And you know what it was, my folks. It was the 2-point try. Sam I Ain't drops back, throws, batted down, V8, applying pressure, got his arms up, no good. 2-point try fails. They're about to go to commercial. The Rams now will get the ball and still up 2. 30-28. But wait, what? Huh? Wait. They're saying it was a backwards pass. So in the case of a backwards pass, it's not batted down incomplete. It's batted down live. And, well, who was it? Charbonnet, who the pass was intended for when it was batted incomplete? Just goes over, picks the ball up right there at the goal line, and they come back, and the commercial is over, and they come back and say, yes, well, actually, the game's tied. They gifted them, the Zebras, the authorities. They gifted them 2 more points. They gave them that 2-point conversion, and I have to say here and now that if that is the rule, you need to fix that shit post haste, because that's raggedy. That defeats the spirit of the rule. If the 2-point try is batted down, it's no good. You can't come back and listen. They've got a rule that you can't advance a fumble. For the very same reason, you can't advance a batted down 2-point attempt into a conversion that's good. That is madness, and they did it. And that gift, those 2 points that tied up the game, really were the Rams' death knell. But they still had more choking and gagging left to do because the Rams get the ball back. Now it's 30-30. And we're down around the 3-minute mark or so in regulation. And the Rams have the ball and they drive and they get into field goal range. And Mevis comes on. Remember, he's perfect. He's 8 for 8. Hasn't missed a point after a try. Hasn't missed a field goal. And he comes on and I'll be damned. Mevis, ball down, kick up, straight down the middle, and then it just, like the football guys, just guided a little breeze over, and it just wafted and wafted. And by the time it got to the upright, it crossed on the other side, wide right, no good, no good. And I knew then, Rams are not going to win this game. Not with all of this. They took a touchdown away in the first half. Remember? McWonder blinking and winking and glitching with the play calling in the second half. The refs inserting themselves, giving the 2-point try, despite it failing. All of this, it was as if the missed field goal was an omen, a precursor of what was going to happen. And you know what happened in overtime. The Rams did march down, put up 7, and then Seattle comes right back, scores, gets it to a 1-point game. They line up for yet another 2-point conversion. And it was good this time. No, it was really good. It was a great play. Wide open. Walk it off. The Seahawks stun, slap, smack down, stun, and reject the Rams in Seattle. The Rams lay a big egg in the Seahawks nest. And so now, 38-37, an epic game where, for the first time in NFL history, a team wins an overtime game with a 2-point conversion. And there were just so many aspects to this game. I can't do it all justice in the time that I have, but I wanted to give you a sense of what I was thinking and feeling as I watched it all unfold. And so the Rams fall in Seattle now. And now, well, as I said, they don't control their own destiny. And as it stands, the Rams went from the 1 seed to the 6 seed. The 6 seed now, my folks. And if the playoffs were to start today with the Rams in the 6th seed, they would be on the road in Philadelphia. That's a long fall. And so now what's left is, well, the last 2 weekends to sort it all out. And, well, I'll give you this. I'll give you this little nugget to take with you. It's going to come down to what happens this weekend, because you've got to watch, obviously, the Seattle outcome and them damn Niners. If both the Seahawks and them damn Niners win their games, Seattle is playing Carolina. Them damn Niners, Chicago. If both of those teams win, the NFC West teams, then the Rams will have no path to the 1 seed. The only way the Rams have a shot at the 1 seed is if at least one of those 2 teams loses this weekend. If either Seattle or San Francisco loses this weekend, the Rams still have a path to the 1 seed. If they both win, the Rams are doomed to be wild card participants. And that's just what it is at this point in the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Let's look at it now. And, we must apply the principle. So let's do that. Well, when you look at the numbers, my folks, once again, we see a familiar refrain. The Rams, more total yards than their opponent, more passing yards than their opponent, more first downs. They didn't allow any sacks. The Rams had no turnovers. You would think that would be enough, but again, this same recurring thorn in the Rams' statistical side. The Rams, once again, were outrushed by their opponent. The Rams ran for 124 yards. That's not bad, but Seattle ran for 171, and that's where it is, my folks, because yards per play, both teams had a 6.6 yards per play average, exactly equal. The Rams were mostly better in all the statistical categories. Well, They dominated time of possession. They had 88 total plays, the Rams did. 88 of them things. I know it was in overtime, but Seattle, only 63. So all of the things I've been calling for, controlling the ball, possessing the ball, time of possession, all of those things the Rams did to perfection. But the one thing that I have been consistently agitating for, run the damn ball, coach. More. Again, the Rams' opponent outrushes them. And so let's go ahead and apply the principle as well as we can. We'll apply it. Let's look at the victors. Let's look at Seattle. Well, Sam Darnold, 22 of 34, and he was sacked 4 times. That's 38, and that's over. But you have to remember now, they had 66 plays or something to that effect. So you have to upsize the 25-30 principle, in this case, to the 30-35 principle, 65 plays. Still, 38 is over that 35. And rushing, Seattle, they only ran the ball 22 times, but they had, especially Kenneth Walker III, had an eye-popping 9.1 yards per carry average. And so the Seattle balance differential was a negative 16. Effectively, they missed both metrics, as did the losers, the Rams. Let's look at it. Matty from the D. Matthew Stafford, 29 of 49. Whoo, no sacks. So 49 dropbacks. Now, we would upsize the principle in this overtime game to the 40-45 principle because the Rams had 88 plays. The 40-45 principle, well, the Rams are over 45. They have 49. And rushing, well, Will, 23 carries, 70 yards. Not a great average. Corum, 14 carries, 48 yards. That's 37 carries. That's 37. Now, if you make it the 40-45 principle, 37 is still short. And so even if you give them the rushing metric, they still fail to hit both metrics. And so the Rams ended up with a negative 12 balance differential, which is actually better than Seattle. You would still think the Rams could have found a way to hang on to this one, but when you add in the refs, the zebras inserting themselves, when you add in the punt return, the glitching by the head coach, when you add that all in, well, take away the touchdown in the first half, when you add that all in, well, you see how it all ended up. And so, my folks, let's go ahead and put this one to bed. Rams next two, their final two, Atlanta and Arizona, two dead birds. So the Rams got to be able to handle their business and get those two dead birds ready for flying south for the vacation season. But interesting situation for them damn Niners and Father the Sorcerer Shanahan. If the Niners go ahead and win out, all of their games are at home. They got two final games, the Chicago and Seattle games, both of them are at home. And then by winning those two, they would be the 1 seed, so they would play their playoff games at home, and then their Super Bowl, if they were to get that far, is in their home stadium. So they have the unique opportunity to win 5 in a row and be Super Bowl champs and never leave their home stadium. Let's hope that is not how it plays out. In the name of all that is holy, let's hope not. All right, and so at this point, my folks, at this point, what I'm going to now ask from you, what I'm going to ask you to do is throw me one of these. Please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Hit the bell, that way you will be notified when I drop my next video. And as you know, the next video won't be long from this video because we'll be back on the other side of that Monday Night Football game against the Atlanta Dirty Dead Birds. And we'll chop up the outcome of this penultimate week of the NFL regular season. And so, until then, my friends, Scotty says, have a fantastic, happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that business. And I will see you soon. And so, until then, my friends, thanks for watching. One love.